This is y'all's rookie at this or what?
This is our third one.
Maybe you need to get Jev in there to help you out.
Welcome to the Pushin' the Cushion podcast with Slim Pushins and Corby Sherb. For all your local and national sprint car updates, news, opinions, driver and team interviews, and behind-the-scenes insights and stories, I promise you've never heard. These two have no idea what they're doing or why they're doing it, so give it a try. If for no other reason, you'll be able to make fun of them for it. And now, from the Rutherford Team Studio, please welcome Corby and Slim.
All right, we made it all the way to episode number 3, and we've got a legend of the sport today. As always, my co-host, the only guy that refuses to watch anything on an airplane, just barebacks looking at the backside of the seat, Corby Sherb.
Him too. I did the same thing.
I cannot wait to introduce this guy. I can never say that he's underrated. I believe he's won everything he's ever tried to race, probably even a tricycle once or twice. But the 7M, Kevin Ramey.
Welcome, buddy.
Thanks for coming
What's
on.
happening?
Thanks for dropping down to our level and talking to us.
Something like that.
Fresh off of TMS, what'd you have? 25 cars out there this weekend?
3 too many. 3 too many. Actually, technically 4. We had one that left wounded, so we had to go home and get the other one, and it all worked out. So it's all good. We actually, I know our results didn't actually show the performance, but all 3 cars did really, really well on Saturday, and we had a new driver, technically 2 new drivers in the midgets for us. Dylan's kind of played a little, not much, and then we had the Ryland Gray in the other car, and I think we've found 3 for Chili Bowl that were the bond and the atmosphere and the attitude is spot on all 3 guys, with Chance Crum being the third one, and I'm excited. I like where we're going. So we got some speed. We just got to get our drivers to pick and choose lines a little bit smarter and stay up on the wheel all 30 laps, and I think we'll be just fine.
Well,
Jimmy and I have been telling our drivers that forever.
Go
ahead.
Kevin, I mean, I think that you were the last true local that showed up to the Chili Bowl and stuck Saturday night. You're
Kyle Jones was in there a couple years ago. We keep thinking he's a local.
A couple years ago.
But
for sure.
No, not really. He's almost in Oklahoma, so we'll count him as goodbye and gone. Plus, he's a horseback rider now, so we can't claim him.
Right.
We were just talking off air about
real job. We have real jobs. He don't have a real job, so he don't count either.
We were just talking off air about the mustache. You got to have respect for the mustache.
Something like that.
Anybody that uses, cream or salve to brush your mustache off.
Kevin doesn't even like anyone who likes that stuff.
Hey, I can just see him and Keith Martin together when they do work together, probably rubbing each other's mustache in cream. I can just see that now.
Oh man,
he's never going to be on the show now.
Yeah, right. We'll cross them off the list.
So you're a promoter now. You were a promoter in the past, but big time promoter again. How's that going?
It's going. It's been a lot. I think this time around, the way it ended in 2012, it just didn't sit well with me. I don't think it was good for either side of us, and the way it ended was not good for either one of us. And there's a lot of regrets there on my end. I don't know about their end, but there's some things we probably could have done and done a little bit different. Let's just put it that way. And probably we would still probably be there and probably be very happy. And this opportunity popped into my lap in October, actually just by freak deal. And, I went and sat down with Tom over at Smiley's, and we had a discussion on where I was and what I thought the future was, and him the same way. And we both kind of, I mean, I don't know that there's much value difference there between both of us. And, you know, he's kind of, in my opinion, went a little bit overboard with the track. He's spent a little bit more money than I wish he would have, but at the end of the day, it's his. And the dang place looks brand spanking new and shiny and got new stuff out there. And, you know, he's in for the long haul. I didn't want to do this, you know, one and done. And, you know, like we did at KSP, I felt like that was the wrong thing. And, you know, you can't get momentum by sitting on the sideline. So we both agreed this would be a multi-year deal for both of us. And, you know, we'll see what happens. We've had really, really good turnouts on the two practices we have. I think we had in the 80s the first time, and then we were right around 60, 55, 60 this past Saturday with everybody else running. So I was really happy about that. You know, all the tools that he supplies me with out there are second to none. I mean, I'll put our equipment up against anybody's in the United States, and that's including Huset's, and they are the best. And I feel like at the end of the day, give us about a year, and this will be the nicest racetrack probably in the damn United States. It's headed that way, and he is persistent on keeping it that way, from washing the tractors every time I use them to the wreckers and everything else. I mean, he is truly a guy that, you know, you'd think a man in his position, he would have a whole lot of helpers running around doing all this for him, and it's not. I mean, it's him. He's passionate about it. He loves getting on the tractors and helping us out. He loves the mowing. He don't care much for the weed eating part of it, but he does the mowing. And, you know, but he wants his stuff looking top notch. He wants everybody treated the right way. And we'll see what happens Saturday night. But I do like the path that we are on.
Yeah, so
the best bathrooms in all of dirt track racing. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I think on Thursday I got a dinner planned over there in the bathroom. So I got to get over there Thursday and get my dinner seat straightened out so we can get that deal done too.
I didn't see you post about that. Was that invite only, or how does that work?
You know, I think there might be a couple of us involved there. You know, Whataburger is a main sponsor of the racetrack, so I'm pretty much sure a good old number 5 bacon cheeseburger would be plenty good there on top of that deal. So we're good to go.
It's a cool place, you know, and RPM's been around for a long time, and it's got a very unique shape, and the big thing is it typically almost always, anytime I've ever been there, it's 2-lane racetrack, and you can run anything from, like I said, tuners, modifieds, 410 sprints, midgets, you can run it all there. It's a really cool place. There's just, you know, what's the drawing need for us guys from the west side to go over to RPM?
Oh,
shit.
Red
That
flag.
was a good one.
Throw red.
That was a good one.
Throw the red's out.
I was just about to ask him
Close
if I
red.
could drive the motor grader.
Oh, no. Go to commercial.
Dylan's phone just went dead.
We could either edit this out,
when
or we could keep it and just talk bad about Kevin for a couple minutes till he gets back.
Corby
Yeah,
probably
talk
won't.
bad about him.
Corey probably he won't remember this, but used to when you'd have, you'd be on the internet or something, and you only had one line. It went through the phone line. Your mom or dad pick up the phone and just kick you right off the internet.
What are you talking about, dude? I'm not that much younger than you.
Right in the middle of
I'm
AOL.
the same age as Jimmy.
Yeah, I would have been like 6th, 7th grade when that.
You've got mail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. AOL.
I like how I've built up this reputation that I've been a big traveling sprint car guy and been doing it like forever.
Do you have everybody
But
fooled?
you are, man.
Internationally known, locally respected.
You come from the
From
Ohio
Indiana,
area.
yeah.
You know, the Ohio, Indiana is massive, and you come down here and you take some dorks, as Ryder claims, in our blacked out sunglasses, and made us go good.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around, but I haven't.
No, the other 3 had potential. He made you go good.
Yeah, for sure.
Not
No,
true.
Merle didn't
Not
really
true.
have ever potential, but Lucas
Wow.
Logan did. Lucas can show up today and win a race.
And look good doing it.
Merle's got
Logan's
that.
going to probably junk 4 or 5 cars trying to.
Merle's got that Kennedale feature winner trophy up at the house, just like
He does.
you do,
He
that
did.
I don't, so yet.
Is that going to change this year?
Not this Saturday. I'll be put by the bottom. You guys saw me
Dude, it
running
works
that midget.
sometimes, man. You just never
I'll
know.
be hound dog in the bottom. Like I got bills to pay.
Like I said, dude, you can make the bottom work at Kennedale.
But,
You can also hit
this.
tractor tires on the bottom too.
You can.
I've done
It's
that
okay
too.
at Kennedale. They're soft.
Yeah, softer.
You think Kevin's still talking into his phone?
He might be.
I think so.
I don't know how
He's-
is the.
Kevin's
You're
going,
on
hello?
your phone, right?
Hello?
You're on
No,
your
I'm
phone.
actually on a laptop now.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
The first time I did it, it was on the phone, and it was the exact same. He has terrible service at the shop though.
Yeah.
At the compound?
Well, like like how his house sits and where the shop is, it's like just far enough away that Wi-Fi is gonna struggle, and then if he's standing at all inside of the shop, then Wi-Fi is really gonna struggle.
This is the most on-brand thing to happen for this.
To push in the cushion? We're keeping this
His shop's
in.
cool, man.
The podcast just became an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, his shop's super cool, man. It's probably like one of the most basic standard shops that exist, but just the memories that Kevin Ramey has inside of there. Like I said, I don't think
Checks
there's
all
ever
over the
been-
walls.
I don't think there's ever been a car he's ever been in that he hasn't won something in. And the dude did it in factory stocks. I think he's actually he raced sport mods for a long time. He's raced some crate late model stuff.
Yeah, they had crate late models randomly for just 1 year. They were like, yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
go door slam people.
For
It's going
sure.
to be great.
For sure.
I was like,
And successful at it.
kinda cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Hey, Corbin, we gotta ask him his version of the Waco story when y'all got tangled up and
When he bump started me with one hand.
if you've never met Kevin Ramey, the guy's larger than life.
He's a big guy, and we talked about Ryder about just being a taller person. You know, Kevin's not a small person in any way, and he actually, I would love to talk to Kevin about this. You know, he made his own chassis for a long time. I don't know if his sprint car stuff still to this day is his chassis, but yeah, he had to move the A-frames back for quite a while just so he can get into the 305s.
Like Shaquille O'Neal having to have his cars redone, Corvettes and
For sure.
stuff like that.
That's a good thing. That's a crazy thing about Kevin Ramey. You know, probably the most people don't even know. You know, Kevin Ramey is an extremely good welder and fabricator.
Oh, you have to be because he's
Not
I've
true.
seen him
I mean,
junk
Corby's
some stuff.
Not. I'm not.
No, I'm not. I can weld. I didn't call myself a welder. There's a difference.
Listen, for folks listening at home or in the car, YouTube, wherever you pick this up at, there has been a welding rivalry between these two. For Jim has taken up learning how to weld,
In spite
and
of
as soon as
Corby.
Corby found out that he has any idea how to do
There he
this,
is. He's back.
he's
Jesus,
it's been a battle.
rub them two dang antennas together.
We just
y'all
been-
got in there.
We've just been talking about you for 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, I mean,
so
either way,
that was-
I just feel like every fan, every racer is important to us. I mean, there's not any one person that's not, and I think that's important to get back to that in this area, and it dang sure is going to be that way at RPM Speedway. So we'll see. We got Saturday night coming awful
Yeah,
fast.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
so-
I'll say it open and to the public. You know, that you're never nice to anyone on the racetrack. You are one of the most humble people whenever I've ever met you, when it comes to talking to your face. And I know that you have great intentions with RPM and pushing it to be something that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we are. I mean, when I'm at the racetrack with a helmet on, I brought my friends with me, but I can kind of be. There's an A word they call it, but at the end of the day, I'm not that at all. Honestly, I'm there for one thing and one thing only, and that's to win. You know, if it happens, fine. If it don't, but I mean, I'm always. There's guys that I don't care for, but if they walked up and they needed help, I'll be the first one to help them. I was in that shoe at one time, and I don't want to
Where's
have
he?
to be in another one.
Is he at the beach
Standing
now?
outside the
boy.
shop right now.
This dang thing done did it again.
Boy. He
You get it on?
piggyback.
There we go.
Piggyback that point. I went down to Ramey's trailer Saturday to borrow gear, and he was the first one to. Him and Dylan were like, "Yeah, what do you need?" And drop what they were doing. They were working on their cars.
Oh, absolutely.
That was on my show notes, whether or not you gave him his gear back. Kevin, did you know that?
No.
Do you know that Jimmy
bring back his stuff?
borrowed some stuff from y'all?
First of all, your 542 gear is back in the trailer. I gave it to Dylan. It has 3 semi-hard laps on it.
Hey, it don't matter. He outrun Dylan in the B, or in the heat race, so it don't matter. He deserved the gear.
Yeah, but we had that thing screaming with its tongue hanging out.
Yeah, it was going.
I had to kill some gear out of it.
Kevin, you definitely have people talking about you at RPM now, and I think a lot of people are excited, and what you've done is make people truly decide on, to, like Corby said, to cross the Metroplex or to come up which direction from 35. I know I'm excited about it. I haven't been out there a ton of times. Got my tailgate stolen after racing there one night in Terrell. Wasn't your fault,
Big say,
or
I hope it
or
went at the
RPM's
racetrack.
fault.
It was mine, but sorry. But
No, like I say, I mean, RPM's a really cool place, and I know, Kevin, that your heart is a racer first, and that helps a big time. In
It
the
does, and
promotional side of
sometimes that's not a
things.
good thing on the business side.
Because
But
you know it too, Kevin. You've
that's
done
what
it,
Tom's
I've done
for.
it. We've all done it as racers. You know, the difference in being a promoter and a racer is such a
Staying cut off
massive
again.
jump
There we go.
to, you know, like you're saying, like you
What?
want to make every racer and every
Well,
fan feel
maybe.
like they're
Let's go.
important. What's the hardest thing about promoting?
We'll wait.
oh boy, we there?
He's been real still.
Hey, let's try the inside and see if it helps.
Here
There
we
you
go.
Hey, y'all got Wi-Fi down there on the compound? Nope. He gone. Jim, see if you can text one of them. Tell him to see if Mackenzie can explain to him how to get his phone on the
Oh, we could fly messages on a pigeon back and forth.
ask a question, get it back next week. That's
It'd be all right. We'll deal with this. May this be the worst thing that ever happens.
You just
I
have
really
to
wanna-
generate your editing.
Now we know if we want to go, do another episode with him, we all got to trek down to Kennedale and be at the compound together.
It's a
we
cool
got to
place,
have
man.
him
It
up.
really
We
is.
got to have him up
Kevin
to the
Ramey's
studio.
shop is a cool place. Just the memorabilia that sits inside of there, not just from Kevin and the people he's had drive for him.
Well, I hope
super
we're not
cool place.
raising his blood pressure dealing with
No, not yet.
our
We-
little
we ain't-
program here.
No, we ain't upset.
May this be the most challenging thing he has to do this week.
Are you on the Wi-Fi now?
Nah, I've been on the Wi-Fi, but I guess the house is kicking its butt, so we hopefully we're good now.
All right. Well,
What's the biggest difference, Kevin, in being a racer and being a promoter? And a promoter, the track has a great name, but like I said, you have a lot of people like us that are from the west side, and you guys are over on the east side. Like what? How do you go about that stuff?
I mean, luckily we're on Saturday nights. That's going to help you guys travel. But the difference between me as a racer and me as promoter is, honestly, I mean, at the racetrack, if Dylan's not racing, it's just me I'll worry about, in my car. And that's all I'm worried about is that setup. And, if obviously somebody needs help, then that's one thing. But when Dylan come along, then now I've kind of don't worry so much about mine and worry more about him. And then on the racetrack side of things, I mean, I even worry about the dang hamburgers, and that's probably stupid, but I want everybody to have a really good experience there. And, I think that's important. I mean, nowadays stuff's so expensive. I mean, even just going to fill up your truck's crazy expensive nowadays. So if you're going to come and spend your trip, your night, and your family's time and your money, hard-earned money to come with us, I want you to leave there, no matter if you've had a good night or a bad night behind the wheel. I want you to, your experience interaction with us as employees of RPM and the facility, I want you to be super happy with. And if there's something that we might need to do a little different, then speak up. I mean, that's what it's for. I think we have something that's going to be kind of unique to most people, that we're going to have a committee. And about every 6 weeks, we're going to change it. But there's going to be 5 or 6 of us, 7 of us, so it's an odd number. But, we'll pick people from different classes, and then, them give us their opinion on things that are what's going on and what's happening, things that maybe they see that we don't. And I think that's important because, I mean, I see them out of my eyes, but sometimes I don't see everything. And that's important to us. I want everybody. You're never going to make everybody happy, but I feel like if you can get majority of them happy, and you know, everybody can help you with that.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
My thought process behind starting this podcast was, you know, I think Corby and Kerbo are dynamic people and are interesting, but we're wanting to help promote and put butts in seats and give somebody something to listen to on Wednesday for the racing junkies out there to be a little bit more involved, learn some more about you and the guests and everything like that. We want to help promote this thing. This is the sport that we all love dearly, more, you know, and how as a racer doing this, which, you know, how can we want to make sure, like, if something rubs us the wrong way, we come on here and we help promote. We're helping engage and get fans of the racetrack and get racers excited about the next race, the big shows we got. How do we balance holding tracks accountable or promoters accountable, or saying like, hey, I didn't really like this, and try to get those out there, or should we not even do it on this forum?
I feel like the number one thing is that everybody does it the wrong way on as me on this side of the fence now, is they get on social media, and even though they might not be doing it, but it comes across as bashing a racetrack or a promoter or a purse or whatever happened that night. I felt like if they would physically talk to the people, or, you know, just have a normal conversation like we are right now, they would see both sides of it. You know, I see both sides. That as a racer, I'd love to race for $10,000 every night at RPM Speedway. There's no way in heck that's ever going to happen. I mean, obviously we're on our, you know, fourth, fifth owner right now. Well, there's a reason why, you know, and this is the point where we need to stop. We want to be the last people here until we're dead and gone. We want this thing to be King Kong at the end of the day. And I felt like just having even after the drivers meeting, come over and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling. What do you think? You know, and if I explain my side of it from my side of the fence and they explain it to their side of the fence, more than likely we can come together and everybody be happy and come to a conclusion and a happy medium for everybody. But to turn around and just get on social media and, you know, people don't realize that even if the owner of the racetrack or the promoter doesn't get on there and say anything, or a judge or a flagman or a record driver, whoever it is, even though they might not comment on there, they still read that and they have a feeling about it, you know. And if it's negative, and you got a guy that spent $2 million on a racetrack, you know, and all you do is see negativity towards you, it don't take very long for that guy to throw in the towel and say, I can go sit on a lake and do this and not hear none of this. So that's one thing I feel like the fans need to realize. Everybody has opinions, and we all appreciate it, but we need to kind of maybe tone that down a little bit and just have normal conversations. And I do believe there is a path for that. I just don't know if it's I hate getting everybody in one class together, because you're never going to get none of them guys to agree on anything. But if you pick a couple of guys from each class and just have a Sunday dinner, or a 30-minute meeting. Say, hey, you know, what's going on in your class? What do you think? What are we doing here? You know, and they can go back and spread the word, you know, and have different people once a month, once every couple of months, and I feel like that will be that's a positive. Is it going to help? I hope. You know, will it? Only time's going to tell.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that you're just trying to add other people other than just your opinion, because like I said, you're a racer and promoter, but you're standing on this side of the fence right now. But just having racers' inputs from other classes, tell you what they liked or didn't like. I mean, even if it's just track conditions, anything. You know, if they didn't like someone standing on the back straightaway who had a flashlight on them or something like that.
Yeah.
Kerbo.
I've been that guy before.
Yeah. We can't miss you, Kerbo. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I think it's important to give feedback and allow that. And it's the same, like I say, like the social media stuff is really easy for us for everyone to go on there and just knock stuff, when a lot of times, like I said, I mean, Kevin, like, you're a super nice guy. You've never told me no. I've walked up to you and asked you probably plenty of dumb questions. And that's the thing that I think is great for RPM is you've been a racer for a very long time, and you can give that racer aspect back to the promotional side of it.
I hope so. I mean, that's what we're here for, and Lord knows I got plenty of experience at it all over the United States. I mean, there ain't very many tracks we haven't been to, and you know, we've had a little bit of luck here and there on our side, and we've done well here and there, and you know, I don't know, and that's one thing I've noticed. You know, Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, you know, we go race at them places, and they all seem to kind of have the same thing, the same style, the same, you know, fan, you know, enthusiasm about it. I mean, you go to Kokomo, Indiana on a Sunday night, and you drive about 3 miles, and both sides of the dang road that you're driving down is tailgaters. And I'm just scratching my head, and, you know, I'm thinking, you know, and I get it. You walk into any convenience store within the 200-mile radius of this place, and all you see is Cowboys, 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 Cowboys. Well, you don't see none of that in Indiana.
Yep.
You see Indy 500, you know, you see all of that stuff. You know, and as a racer, for me, coming from here, I mean, that's cool as shit. You know, then people think it's, you're crazy. What are you talking about? Well, come down here and you get some of this Cowboys losing for the last 30 years. You get tired of that. So, you know, I mean, Jerry Jones, I'm glad he stepped into the racing ring now. At least we get some racing around here. Didn't help, you know, so maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
How did
like you talk about, you know, you've won the 305 Race Saver Nationals before, and it's the same. Whenever you're in Nebraska, you can go to every single place around Eagle, and that's all that it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that racetrack.
It is, and one thing, and I will tell, Roger does a really good job of fan interaction, no matter if it's you know, some idiot jumping a car and hitting a bus and bombs going off, or, you know, he just gets people involved in it, and they love it, and you know, we could all learn from him. I mean, yeah, he's probably got his sides that you would not want to do, but at the end of the day, as a promoter of a motorsports event, he does a phenomenal job. And, you know, he's the same way. You walk up to him and you need something, I got you. You know, go talk to this guy, go talk to that guy. You know, he's willing to help you. I mean, Lord knows we've all been to the damn tech doom, you know, room of gloom there, and you know, and there's always somebody always has something wrong. Well, he always has a solution for you. You know, you might not like it sometimes, but he's willing to make it work for you.
I agree.
So, hey, I'm gonna throw this out there. I might be willing to drive a bus on the infield.
Be careful what you ask.
Kevin can probably make it happen.
If it ever comes to that, holler at me.
Hey, let me tell you something, big boy. We have the trailer race, and you better be this little podcast better be on the side of one of them damn things, and you three clowns need to be in the seats.
Book
and then another thing, we have a front wheel drive a long jump competition. So you start on the middle of the back straightaway, and you come around wide open till you get to the flag stand. If you got enough guts, let's put it that way, and see how far you can jump. Longest one wins $1,000, cowboy.
I think I don't know that I'll fit.
Calling.
I don't know if I'd fit the weight restrictions for jumping up. Whatever.
I'll tilt the ramp to the right a little bit to offset that way, but it's all good.
Done. Well, you came up a couple episodes ago because, you know, Kerbo officiated my wedding. He's still ordained the state of Texas, so we signed up. We signed him up to officiate some race fans renewing their vows during.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to that episode yet, but we are game for having like some sort of mass infield wedding at intermission out there. If we get to the point of putting butts in seats. I'm retired, but I'd come.
Butts and seats, I'm in, but we need to get this intermission done with so we can go back to racing, so I can get you back across to your side of town at a decent time without your tailgate getting ripped off.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, tell me, how did this whole racing thing start for you? How did sprint cars start for you?
Racing wise, my dad had a car, and he was always part of somebody's team helping him out. He never wanted to drive. He always loved building engines and, you know, just kind of hanging out and doing the thing with that. And then he had a mechanic shop, and then he had a car that some guys drove back in the day. And to be honest, they weren't very competitive. The drivers weren't. I felt like the cars were good, which I didn't know much back then, but it just seemed like they were just happy going and just getting a pit pass and drinking a cold beer and having a good time. And that wasn't me. I was there to win and pulverize the field, or let's just stay home. I can watch Saturday Night Wrestling on TV, so I just didn't, that wasn't for me. And so when I finally got old enough, I guess they finally got tired of me wearing them out about they couldn't drive. So they said, here, sucker, you jump in there. And the rest is history. I mean, I loved it. And, I have a passion for it. I still do. I don't get to do it nearly as much as I used to, let's put it that way. But, I still like to do it. It's to the point now where it's almost, I love the challenge of it. I love the new stuff that I get to learn. I'm always building and tweaking and, trying something different to see if it works. If it don't, then it don't. But I love looking at the rule book and going, they don't have that in there. So let's work on that. And then, just I love that side of it a lot. And I'm probably leaning more on that side now than ever. We have another car out in the shop that will be debuting here probably in 6 or 8 weeks. That's different. Let's just put it that way.
Well,
does that mean
I know a lot of people don't know this. I mean, you're just as good of a fabricator as you are as a racer, and that's saying a lot. You build your own stuff as much as you are a lot more than you buy your own stuff.
Yeah, my race pass doesn't have stats on cool shit you built. like it does race.
I think but the funny part, that all started because I'm a tight ass. I didn't want to buy anything. I just wanted to build it. So, but I also grew up in the era too, guys, where you didn't go to Smiley's and buy anything except the tires and wheels. Back then the little store over in Oak Cliff they didn't have a lot. You could buy the tubing and tires and wheels, or maybe some sheet metal. But now, I grew up going to the wrecking yard and crawling underneath the spider and snake infested grass and pulling part out, taking it home and tweaking it and putting it on my hot rod. So that times are a little different. And, but now, I get to do it with Dylan, and that's a lot of fun. He's learned a lot about it, and he's getting to become a fabricator. Mechanic-wise, he's as good as I am, but fabricator-wise, he still needs to do a little bit more of it. But he has all the tools here, and, we get to build stuff together. And, the whole time we're building this sprint car out in the shop, he's looking at me, scratching his head, and it was no way in hell he's ever going to drive it. And then for some reason today he walks in and, I've been thinking about that car. I think I really want to drive that. I'm like, no. You don't get to backtrack now, so.
Fans, I think I'll be able to see over the dash, but
yeah,
it's the same. We can be honest here. Dylan absolutely rips too. The same. Mackenzie, whenever she did race, she was super fast. It runs in y'all's blood.
Speaking of Mackenzie, does Mackenzie still hate Corby for the Grayson County tangle?
For Grayson County, yes.
What happened?
Oh, me and Corby were racing, and I missed the bottom, and Corby came in there.
Oh, yeah. No. But go ahead and get him to tell you what I said when he come in and was mad. I said, hey, I'd have done the same thing to you, big boy, so get over it.
Kevin, let me tell you something. Kevin, you don't know this, but we were so grateful that we heard through the grapevine that was your sentiment, because the last thing that anybody wants is you stomping down to somebody else's pit because you're upset.
Look, at the end of the day, I want to win. It don't matter if it's him or not. And look, and I have this theory, and it's probably dumb as hell, but I don't ever want him to think that I gave him a win, because it won't mean as much to him.
I couldn't agree more.
When he outright kicks my ass, he's going to get that prop, and he earned it. And I'm not going to I'm not going to rough him up. I might rough him up. I'm not going to hurt him. Because Mama already gets on my ass because I get too close to him every once in a while, or he gets too close to me. But I still, at the end of the day, they're going to earn it from me. I had to earn it, and I appreciate them guys. I grew up racing with Gary Wright and, Wayne Johnson and Crawley and all them guys, and Bob Buell. Them guys were very nice men, hard-working men. Them were guys that went to work every day and built their own stuff. And, I have much respect for that. I don't – the kids that come up nowadays that don't do nothing but hold their hand out and daddy pays for it, and they sit around with their sunglasses on all day, that don't work for me. So I appreciate the way I was raised with them guys. And sometimes it was a little tougher and a little harder than I was looking for, but I think it's made me who I am today. And just like him. If I disappear today and gone forever, he can still get out there and build his own cars and do his own thing and be competitive and be successful. And I'm proud of that, probably more than of anything we've done.
Well, he had a big win at Waco last year, right?
But yeah, a year ago. And don't worry, he reminded Jeb of that 3 times this weekend. So, yeah, and it's funny because that's the only time Mama's went, and she was crew chief, but he walked out on the racetrack and called me because I was in Tulsa, and, Dad, this is what the track's doing. What should I do? So I told him. Well, then she calls me bawling and squalling that he won. So he calls me back and said, Dad, the car was too tight. I said, did you win? I said, yes. I said, then it wasn't too tight. It was perfect.
That was I watched it from the house that night. That was cool. It was always good to see good people that we have come to know, and the work that they put in and the care that they have and the drive that they have. That was pretty cool. I think I texted Dylan later that night and congratulated him. That was big. We were happy for him.
Yeah, like my deal. I mean, Bobby went with me because they weren't racing their midgets, and just me and Bobby went. And all the guys that normally help me, they went and helped him because they knew he didn't have anything. And seeing the picture of them all in victory lane was emotional for me, to be honest, because it meant a lot to me, because that meant if some reason I'm not here tomorrow, them guys, they had his back, and I appreciate that for them guys.
That's a big deal. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
That's
So now we got to get him some more. He says Abilene when I won, and he started on my pole. And he said I jumped him on the start. So on my fake check they got me out there on the wall, I put on there, Dylan said Dad jumped the start, but I still won. So
those are great memories. I mean, y'all are out there making memories. What else is there?
It is. It's a lot of fun, and we're still going to get to do it some. I got. Like I said, the new car's coming out here pretty soon, and if it don't work out, then I'll bring the old one. It's still together, but I got some Friday night stuff that I can still go do. I want to go do the Speed Week that's coming up, and then I'm going back to Nebraska to, we're second row of the big dance, the makeup dance. So I feel like I need to go back and do that, and for some reason I end up winning that. I think I'll just stay in the pits and drink beer the rest of the weekend and help him. So
you got some unfinished business.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We had a really good car last year, and then the rain hit us. But, I mean, there's a lot of guys got good cars, so who knows.
Yep.
When are they running?
So you always go really good there, too.
Yeah, it's fun.
When are they running that makeup race? They running it right when you get there, like Thursday?
After practice, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Instead of doing the heat races of Race of Champions, I think they're doing last year's feature.
I got you.
That'd be great for the fans.
It is. It's a cool experience. I mean, the Race Saver Nationals are massive.
Yeah.
I've not.
Yeah,
been.
and that's something we would love to get down here. Something. But the problem is we, our springs are so squirrely with weather. We've been lucky this spring so far, but I mean, and even in the fall, it's we get football season here, so I hate to do anything after basically September because we get beat up so bad fan wise on Friday nights. And we can't do a multiple day deal, so that is a struggle for us at RPM is trying to balance that and come up with something that works for us and the fans. So we're working on that. We would like to have a big midget race down here, probably coming in 27. We're working on the Outlaws in 27. It's going to require us to have some more stands. So there's a lot in the works. There's a lot of good things in the works. We gotta walk before we run. So we're in the process of at a heavy trot at this moment.
Speaking of the Outlaws, and I don't want to go into like some major detail, but after the events that happened a couple weeks ago, as a guy that's responsible for a track, do you go back to the drawing board? Like, do you go back and evaluate your way of doing things, emergency vehicles, medics, stuff like that? What goes on behind the scenes after a big tragedy like that?
Lots of talk, lots of openness, honesty, looking at each other in their eye, and we never want to be late to any party on anything like that. But there's also a sense of responsibility on your end that you need to wait and let the car stop and then, take off and go that way. And I think, the tracks that have the walls around them like we do and KSP does, it's not as easily as somewhere where they can park, on the outside, and then when everything stops and one's in one corner, one's in the other, and then they're not together. So, I mean, tragedy as it may be, I feel like that there is a big learning lesson here. And we've had that conversation with our fire guy, and he's the one that's been at Devil's Bowl all the years, him and his dad, and then he's Chili Bowl as well with his mom and dad. So, I mean, he is a real live fireman, and I feel like that he has a lot of that information that he's, just learned over the years. So I'm excited about that side of it, and just hope for the best on that end of it.
It's the same, like you're saying, you've been, the driver's been upside down, and then you have promoted before to try to be one of the first people there. I mean, it's such just a fine line of where is safe and where is we probably should have just waited another 2 seconds.
Yes, and that's something this year at RPM we've changed caution lights. We went the new LEDs that's the Race-Saver brand. And eventually we're going to make, over time, everybody's going to have the Race-Saver that's on the dash. So when we throw the yellow on or the red, it pops up on your dash as well. And besides having our new lights, you're going to have one that blasts in your face. And, it's a little bit more money to purchase that, but we're going to give some people some grace period and hopefully some certificates and things like that. And, hopefully within a year or two we have all of our cars outfitted with that so that it instantly, exactly what's going on that minute. So
that's really cool.
That's something I'm excited about. That's something new that's coming out that we have, and, other tracks are trying it as well. But I think in our area we will be the first ones that have it, and we're super pumped about that.
Of course.
It's a great idea.
Kevin would be another inventor, of course.
Not inventive, just pushing it.
Yeah, right.
The first Corby, we were talking in our intermission a while ago when you getting reconnected. Corby's got a Waco story, and I don't know if we ever talked to you about it.
I've talked to him about it.
Go ahead and tell the story.
Whenever he don't remember what happened in front of him, yeah, I remember that too.
I think that Kevin, I don't know if many fans truly know, Kevin's no small guy, and I think that Kevin bump started me with one hand, pushing me off down the racetrack.
Yeah, because I think I removed about $9,000 worth of shocks off the front of my race car when I hit you, so I was a little hot. And then plus, and I don't know what it is. It irritates the living heck out of me, but that's because I don't get to race so much anymore, like I used to. So when I do race, it's got to be quality over quantity, and that wasn't not quality that evening. And then plus the person that got blamed for it the first time, there is no love lost there. And I mean, we get along now, but there's been a few
plenty.
bad
I
days.
go for plenty.
And we're over that now, but
yeah,
back of my mind, it's still tapping me on the shoulder, thinking, so it was just one of them moments, not my finest moment, and it worked out, so it's all good. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I know fans don't understand this. Everything happens so fast on the racetrack, especially on the first lap. Same, actually, in 24 we were racing at Waco, and you had passed, I can't remember, I think it was like Rodney Henderson or something. We were going to lap Rodney Henderson. I was right behind you. And whenever you went by him, he moved up to go to the top to give you room, and I was up there, and then I ended up getting taken out because of that. It happens so quick. You can never think of stuff like that.
Oh, never. And that's kind of the situation I got into with you, because I've been fortunate that I see the high limits guy just busted his rear end on TV.
That's what I was.
Sorry, we're all distracted.
We've all got it.
Yeah, but I don't want Dylan. I didn't even see it. Dylan's pointing at it, and I'm like, what the heck? But no, I pride myself into. I see things coming a lot. I've done it so long that I see little things. Well, in your situation, I didn't see you because I forget who was directly in front of me. At the last second, they hung a right or left, whatever it was, and then you were just sitting there dead in the water. Yeah. And I was probably more mad at myself than I was anything, because I did hit you, and I did have enough time to miss you if I would have seen you. And that just irritated the living crap out of me because I didn't see you. So, I was more mad at myself than anything, and that's why I told in the night when you come back to the trailer, I was over it. I was just more mad at myself because I should have seen the damn thing. Mm-hmm. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I know that you have endless stories about that. Just things happen so fast, and or you see the dust in front of you, and you predict where this person's going to be, and you go the wrong
Mhm.
way, and that's
And
where
they never go the right way.
no, never.
So
But that's the beauty of sprint cars, and it's cool. Like I say, that sprint cars aren't huge around here, and I think that sprint cars need a bigger name. The
yeah,
305 stuff has always been, like semi, like it's always been on the verge of it could be that big, and it's going to take some promoters like you that are focused just simply on the racers that
yeah,
can make 305 sprint cars be something like it has been. There's been times and spurts. The same as I will say this, what you did at KSP with the micros was huge. It was massive. And it kept micros around here for a long time, and I know the micros have really fallen off, and I don't want to see the same
yeah.
thing happen to 305s.
Yeah, I don't either, and I think a positive was a negative, but now it's becoming a positive. But with all the series that we had here, probably in the last 6 or 8 years, it really spread our class thin, the racers thin, and everybody couldn't seem to get on the same page. And I'm kind of not necessarily glad the other series are kind of falling to the wayside, but it is a positive for us as a track and as a racer with a car that. Maybe we can start getting a core group of cars. I mean, this weekend will probably be a prime example at KSP. There's no reason there's not 25 sprint cars there,
Right.
and there should be. I mean, that's a great place to race, and I don't know that y'all get the respect that you deserve there, but again, for you guys, it's a great place to race. It's somewhere closer to home. And I mean, it's a beautiful facility, and there's no reason y'all can't have an awesome show there.
Yeah. And I think that 305s are huge around here. A lot of people have it, including, like I say, some of the series falling at the wayside. I think a lot of people are going back to the 305. I mean, that is the most consistent, or the only consistent thing that's really ever happened around here. The same, you raced at Devil's Bowl for a very long time, and Devil's Bowl was always big. At Devil's Bowl, I think, a little bit more like catered to the 305 stuff. I mean, I don't know, like what you do. You almost turned in like a perfect season there or something like that.
I don't know, something like that.
All I know is when I moved
Hey,
here,
this is a show of honesty. So you can be
humility
how
be damned.
close was
Tell
it?
us how it was.
He finished out of the top 5 once because of Cam Spud's stripped. Other than that, he
There we
won,
go.
I think, all but 2.
I know. I think you, Dylan, because I know he's not going to tell me the
Yeah.
truth.
No, I mean, and look, I'll be honest, guys. I mean, when I started as a kid sitting in the stands at Devil's Bowl with my mom, my dad's in the infield working on a car. I never in a million years dreamed I'd even make one lap around that place. And then as I got older and started learning more about it and decided I might want to do that, and then I did, and I won my first couple of races in stock cars there in my first year, and it just kind of grew. And then when I got into the sprint cars, I was leery about it because I had so much success with the stock cars, and then I had friends and guys that I knew of and respected get hurt and killed and things like that there, and in sprint cars in general. And I knew that was, something that I wasn't a fan of. But at the end of the day, I felt like I was at the end of my road in the stock car class. I mean, we can all sit in one class forever and, beat it up. But I mean, that wasn't any fun for me anymore. And, and it's strange how it seems, but my car owners now that I still have, even with the midget stuff, there's 2 of them or 3 of them, and they both were the guys that supported me back then, and they still are now. So that's extremely rewarding for me that we're still all friends at this point and still passionately do this together. And that's what's kind of what the Chili Bowl is for all of us now. But, on the sprint car side of things at the bowl, I thought, I won my first race my first year, and I thought that's pretty damn cool shit. Well, then I sit here, a few years later, and I'm set on top of the pile of everybody. And honestly, in all sincere, I never thought I'd win one race there, much less be 100 and I think 140 something wins at just Devil's Bowl.
Yeah.
And when I sit back and think about it, and I did, I had a moment the other night in the shop. I was out there by myself, and we were joking with Dylan about this little Abilene thing, and I wrote it, and he stuck it over the wall, and he'd went inside. And I was just sitting there looking at all the different trophies and checks on the walls, and I just shook my head because I can't still to this day believe that I've won, been a part of a USAC national win, ASCS wins, and championships and this and that, and dang sure a single win at Devil's Bowl. And Devil's Bowl in my mind is still, they Outlaw started there, and that's obviously the world's largest touring sprint car series. So I mean, it's just, I don't know, kind of humbling sometimes, and makes you scratch your head like little redneck garage grease monkey from Duncanville. Had a little fun along the way.
So back to that season where we're talking about, Devil's Bowl he had 31 starts, 16 wins, 30 top fives, and 1 DNF. And the 1 DNF was the Cam Spud Strip going at Devil's Bowl.
We had a really good year. We had a good car, and it's that whole thing. And it's weird how that car come about. I'd had back surgery the year before for some pinched nerves and stuff that I had going on, and the car was sitting there. So obviously you can't do anything. So I'm sitting there scratching my head. What can I do to make this car better? So I got the measuring and, levels and angle finders and this and that. And next thing you know, I got this thing where I thought I wanted it. And I didn't know if it would work or not, but we went out there and we never touched it. I mean, that thing was just lights out all year long. And it's the same car we won the Nationals with in the rain. And, the week before we're going to the Nationals, I smoked the friggin' tractor tire in turn 2 at Devil's Bowl in hot laps and knocked the front clip over about 3 inches. So I'm like, are you kidding me? And then a wrecker and a porta power and a little wire welder at Devil's Bowl. I didn't touch it, and here we go. We had a pretty good year.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing about sprint cars. Like I said, you just beat it back together, and a lot of it had to do with confidence in that car. You felt that good in it, and you didn't need to do anything else.
Nah, we did have a lot of confidence in that car, so it was a good piece.
Right.
Kevin, you talk about trying stuff and the rule book. Last year we were pitted close to each other, and you were trying something with your exhaust manifold exhaust, but you had run it underneath your seat and quickly changed it. You want to tell people why didn't that work out for you?
The actual performance of it worked. The heat or nothing like that's not a big deal, but to get it, I'm obviously a heavier driver, or let's say I'm a husky driver, and so I have to block my car on shorter blocks to get it up off the ground for my weight. Well, in doing that, the exhaust has to kind of be smashed a little bit, just to get it where you can set the rear end on blocks. And running wise, it rocks big time. But it drags the ground. So the new car is going to have something a little different than that, and it won't be dragging the ground. It's actually polar opposite of that. But I just took it out. I mean, it was dragging the ground, and it was upsetting the car more than it was helping me performance-wise. So I just took it out and decided to revisit that at a later date. I think that was my 3rd or 4th version, and the first version started during COVID. We were sitting around for 3 months with nothing to do, and you go up there and you start scratching your head. What can I do to make this thing faster? After you look at the rules, and our rules in the Race Saver, engine-wise, are pretty restricted, but everything else it's kind of wide open. You can do some things with the body and the wings, and I enjoy that side of it. I enjoy the sheet metal side of things. I love building bodies, and I don't ever build 2 the same. And even if I build, like I just put a body on factory stock for Coy and Brent, and I built it last year too, and it doesn't look the same as it did last year. I love trying to make things go faster with my hands, without spending money and things like that. And it's just that's fun and rewarding for me.
That's cool.
Back to that exhaust. Your driver there, he was more worried about my buns than he was worried about anything else. He thought it was going to roast me.
The reason that I brought it up is because I remember looking over at one point, y'all were adding like exhaust tape around the underside of the seat.
Yeah,
so I just assumed she got hot.
No, it just drug the ground and it pulled it off, and I didn't want the shifter cable getting hot. So I made sure that I did that, because the shifter cable gets hot, it melts together, and then you either can't put it in gear or get it out. And either one of them become an issue at some point during the evening.
We had that problem. Corby and I had that problem
RPM?
at RPM.
Yeah, we had RPM, actually.
At the last race.
You just lock it in gear. I'll push you off, but don't run over nobody.
Listen, these people listening have no idea they just look and they see somebody, a big guy on a four-wheeler. You've never lived until you've seen an entire field of cars screaming to the left and right of you as you're on your hands and knees, bleeding thumbs trying to get a car into gear.
It wouldn't go in
Corby
gear.
yelling
And
at me, Ray Seaver yelling at me.
Yeah, Martin's yelling at me to get off the racetrack. Don't touch that car. Get off the racetrack. Get off the racetrack.
Yeah.
Finally, we got off the racetrack. We got around right in front of the chute, and Jimmy got out there with a pair of pliers. I'm pretty sure he just hammered it in gear.
Yep.
And we
So we had one smart guy of the bunch that had tools.
Yeah, right.
And yeah,
It took so long because I had to sprint back and go get something, and then we got it before the green came out, but they wouldn't let us refire. And then Corby goes, "I'm never going back."
you talk about just
hey,
an.
why you want to? Hey, you got to come back now.
I know.
Right.
Now it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
talk about
I've slept since then.
An
I was
intense
I felt like
moment.
we got it. I felt like we got it in gear quick enough that they could have pushed me off in front of the field, and it would have been. I would have just jumped in the tail of it, but they didn't let me. So like you're saying, any racer are going to be emotional and pissed off at that moment.
I think
You must have not raced at Devil's Bowl your whole life, and they show you favoritism, right? That's what I hear all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They might have been able to just run one more caution lap and put us on the tail, and we'd have felt felt okay about it. Going back to just feeling like you're appreciated.
I think there's probably some LED light company around town that could probably donate some lights to that and probably get some of that done for you. But
probably,
I don't know. I'd have to find out. I need to put out that prop maybe.
Cheap Chinese lights. We got a guy. Yeah, you've never seen intensity until you got a driver yelling at you, 19 other cars, everybody on the front stretch staring down down your neck, Ray Seaver yelling at you.
Okay,
not being able.
I think as a promoter, that might have been a golden opportunity for some little entertainment for my crowd. Seeing a big boy running is priceless.
Right.
It was on the back stretch, not the front stretch.
Yeah, we were on the back
Hey,
stretch.
they can see. We got fans on the back stretch too, baby. We got to satisfy all of them.
I was yelling at him, telling him to knock it in gear. Just put your foot in there and push it. Just
You
knock it in
drivers,
gear.
you drivers have a bad habit of just assuming we can hear what you're saying through that helmet with other cars running around. Corby's arms are just flailing.
Hand signals are awesome.
It seemed like it took like a half hour. I'm sure it only took 45 seconds or a minute before I realized, because I'm yelling at him, just put it in gear, and his arms are flailing and stuff till I realized, what was going on. So
the bad part about it is I wish I'd have known that. I probably did see it, but I just didn't pay attention. I could have maybe crop dusted you a little close there or something like that and got your attention.
I'm telling you, I felt like everybody was crop dusting me. I felt like I was changing a tire in the middle lane of the interstate is what I felt like.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
no, it's cool. I've slept since then. It's all good now. And Kevin's running the show, so I got respect for Kevin.
That don't mean you won't get black flag, but that just means we appreciate you coming and see you next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Oh man.
So
What else?
it's all good.
So speaking of, so you are going to run 305 Speed Week? You race?
I am.
Okay. And somehow double up.
The Saturday night show at RPM on the 23rd depends on what my week looks like before that. If I've either been terrible or good, there's a possibility of Crawley coming up and driving it. It might even drive the backup car, but me and him's been in talks about that. We tried to get Gary Wright to come up, but he said he's too old and can't see. And so Crawley said, I'm in. And so we might have two cars there, or he just might be in mine. I don't know. It kind of depends what our week looks like there. And then obviously we're at his place in Texarkana the next night. There's some plans there. I want the car to be there. I want the car to support the series, and there's a lot of good there. I'm hoping that with IMCA and Race On and Nathan, that deal keeps going in the trajectory that it is. I love it. It's a good thing, and all the tracks loved it. And I think we have something to build on there. Even if Nathan decides he wants to go a different direction and step away, and I don't see that happening, but if he does, I feel like we'll pick it up and run with it and keep that momentum going, because I do. Some of the guys that I know, and I met a couple of them from up north that come down, the Pennsylvania guys, and they both were super pumped about it and really nice people, and they're all coming back. I think there's a couple of them going to come here and stay. Prior to the speed week and then maybe a little bit after, so they don't have to go straight back home. They can kind of hang out here, run a few more nights, and I look forward to that. I enjoyed that. We've just had the Outlaw guys in town, and I think we had about six of them out here in the driveway for 2 weeks, and they've become like family to us over the last few years. And it's just enjoyable.
Yeah, the
It's
speed
cool,
week thing
like
was
I say,
cool.
I mean, yeah, speed was super cool, and everything about racing is a family, and I don't think that any racer can ever forget that. It's the same. I know that I could go up to you and ask you for just about anything, and you to give it to me. And
Yep.
Speed Week and stuff like that needs to happen, as we said. Just bringing the 305s back to what it's supposed to be around here in North Texas. It's a really big thing.
And there's still enough of them around. I mean, between basically Ardmore down to Waco and all the way over to Shreveport and Texarkana to Abilene, there's still 40 of them easily, and there's no reason that half of them to 3/4 of them can't be at the races on the weekends if they're everybody gets on the same page here, and maybe we can start getting the money a little bit better as time goes on. If we see a positive on that side of things, we can get maybe some more contingency parts and things like that. Tom's committed to doing a lot of that, is talking to the header people, the wheel people, the tire people, whoever he can get to kind of help us out on that end of it. And it might not be a lot, but at the end of the day, it's something you didn't have, and I know all the racers appreciate it, and it just means a lot. It goes a long ways.
And it's like you say, and we'll touch base on this again. Track conditions mean a lot, and how the racing surface is. From one lane, hammer down around the tires, to taking rubber halfway through a feature or two lane, that matters big time in people. And rather than running once a month, or they'll go run all the races because they can go to RPM and they can have 2 lanes of racing.
And that's actually funny you said that. That conversation has been had with me and a couple of the sanctioning bodies, asking why Waco struggles so much for cars, because there's no reason for it as far as the facility, the area, and the promoters. I mean, they're all great people. It's a beautiful place to race. It's fun as heck. But I feel like that they're modified guys, and the modified guys love it good and hard, and I appreciate that. But as a sprint car, when a modified takes rubber, it'll fluff the tire up a little bit, but in general, the tire's still usable at the end of the night.
Right.
Where, prime example, this weekend, the top 2 cars, that's all I seen. I didn't see anybody else. I'm sure they all look the same, but I mean, the new tire it's gone. It's just junk.
Yeah.
So, you're racing for, even if it was 1,000 to win, you didn't pay for your tires. And that's one thing I feel like they struggle on. They missed the boat on that. They don't understand that yet. I feel like that as racers, we need to, maybe next time we're there, go over and explain to them that we were $300, for each corner of our car,
right?
Not $80 or $150, so the track we don't need it to be.
Like you say, once they blistered like that, they're trash.
They're junk. So, them guys, they took a beating last weekend financially. But it's going to happen every once in a while. I know RPM's not perfect either, and we don't claim to be, but we as a group of promoters and race prep people, we need to do a good job of giving racers, no matter what class you're in, a couple of grooves to race in. I think that makes great racing, and great racing produces fans. So, and that's what we all need.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, Waco. We were talking about Waco, and it was good to see Claude win. Was our big thing. It's like, Claude got to win. That's good. It's tough on Fridays.
Talk one up for the old guys, huh?
That's right. It's tough on Fridays already to be a Friday night track and get people to tow, through rush hour traffic on a Friday afternoon to get wherever. And there's just a lot of things working against them on that deal, and then just track conditions and it's like paying to go on vacation, and you're sitting at dinner the first night and you just light $900 on fire and throw it in the trash. It was not the start to the season I think anybody was expecting. So it's a two-way street. We as racers have to support the track, but they have to understand kind of the bigger picture of what it costs to actually put on a show for the fans when it takes rubber. And Waco's put on some really good races. Especially the last couple years. I think it's been, for the sprint car stuff, really entertaining. Where right when I moved here 5-6 years ago, we knew it was going to take rubber, and it was very predictable, and it was a bad deal. But that was kind of shocking to see on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we run ASCS for years. We actually used to run the IMCA stuff there with the little wings, and then it transitioned over into the ASCS stuff. I mean, there was nights we'd have 40 cars there, and you couldn't have bought. I mean, the racing was just incredible. I mean, we all loved it, and then Gene sold it to these guys, and we still had some good racing there. But here lately, in the last few years, it's getting where it just kills tires. I don't know if they need to go in and cut a couple inches off the track and blade it off and flip it all over and start over or what. But it's extremely hard on us as racers, and I hope they can get that corrected, because I don't want to lose that racetrack as one of our sprint car tracks. It's a super good racetrack for us.
I agree.
Yeah, because cool. And I'll just touch base on this. Hunt County is probably a farther drive for the majority of us, but typically it has a top and it has a bottom, and it just helps car count consistently to have something like that, and
yeah.
We're putting you on the spot. You're in the promotional seat now, and that stuff matters. You too are a car owner, same as your kid, and tires are expensive.
Yeah, and I will tell you, in our first probably 2 conversations and meetings we had at RPM with Tom and everybody involved with this deal, that was the number one thing that Tom did not want. We're not changing rules, and we don't want the track killing tires, because I don't want everybody saying you're doing that because I sell parts. And right. I 100% agree with him, and that is far from what he wants. Right. He wants everybody to be happy. If they buy something from him, fine. If they don't, I'll see you next time. But that is something that we're painfully conscious about it on our side of it. And there's no reason for it. I mean, we have the equipment to keep it right, even if it means take a 30-minute break at intermission and do a little fluffing and a little watering and then going back at it. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But, we want to continue to keep the racing surface enjoyable for everybody, and we don't need guys buying tires every night. We just can't have it. I mean, it looks bad on us, it looks bad on everybody, and it dang sure looks bad in your pocketbook. And right now the economy is kind of heading in the right direction, but I mean, it still ain't great. So right. We need to help every way we can.
Yeah, it's a challenging problem to fix.
It is.
There's no easy answers. A lot of that, but we are all on the same kind of. It's a two-way street between the racers and the tracks to make sure that everybody's getting out of it what they feel like they need to.
Yeah, and I run across and deal with a lot of people that race up north and different, obviously even higher than Oklahoma, up in Iowa and Nebraska and things like that, and they're like, oh God, they don't understand that we live on the face of the sun, most of the time. So it's nothing for us to have to go to RPM during the week and, in the evenings and water a couple of nights just to keep the moisture down in the track.
Right.
If you can keep the moisture down in it, it makes your life a lot easier. That's just something that we're consciously going to have to keep up with. And, again, we're committed to doing it, and hopefully it works out for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, we probably need to start wrapping this up. I have a couple of questions. First of all,
here it comes.
First of all, Kevin, do you think that we landed on the moon?
Oh God,
no.
You do not believe that we ever landed on the moon?
No.
What?
We did not have the technology back then to get our asses back.
Do you think we had the technology to get our asses there?
Yes.
All right.
You can shove a rocket up anybody's ass and send them to the moon. it's just refiring it and getting it back to Earth is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The other question I have is, can I drive the motor grader at RPM?
Negative.
He won't even let me drive.
Negative. There's
What
no
about-
way in heck I'm letting you putting gouges in my racetrack. But you can drive the pace truck if you want. It's Riddle Brothers Roofing, pace truck there, so you can come drive it all you want.
Well, we might have something there. What about the water truck? Can I drive the water truck?
Yeah, when we go to packing with it, yes. After I've watered it, you can get out there and make laps. I have one with no power steering, and it's a stick shift. So you decide if you want in it or not.
Yeah,
that's the one.
And you gotta drive over there on a Wednesday night and do it, Kerbo.
Yeah, you got to get a little practice, but I ain't letting you out there cold turkey. It ain't happening.
You're not gonna let me fired up on race night? Just give her some laps?
No, you can get out there with that power washer and wash it on race nights if you want. Make it look pretty again.
There we go.
He'll let me do anything on the racetrack up until race night. Then he tells me to go.
Yeah, y'all got to get out the way because this right here is it's just like building a race car. I mean, it's probably to a fault, but so it's probably to a fault. But I mean, this still is no different from either way. I mean, we go. So for me, the racetrack is no different than me crawling in a race car and trying to win. I want to beat all the other tracks every weekend, and I know that's probably stupid, but that's the way I go at it. And I want it to be the nicest, the fastest, the best. It's exhausting sometimes, but here we are.
I like it.
Well, Kerbo and I were drinking some beer at Chili Bowl and brainstorming some crowd activities for some racetracks. We had some redraw ideas. We had some fan interaction ideas. What did we come up with, Kerbo? We want to do instead of just a regular pill draw, we want to do a closest to the pin golf shot. From turn 4 into turn 2, closest to the pin gets the pole. And
you do
the
realize
top 5 are back.
We're going to have about 3,000 people sitting in the stands, and I don't need no black eyes or busted heads or anything. So that's not a good idea, Cowboy.
What else did we come up with?
Idea number 1.
But the fans are redrawing our guys, so that is in our. We have a wheel of we spinning a wheel, and they're going to redraw 0, 2, 4 or 6. Go from that way, but the fans are going to have some interaction with that.
So we thought it'd be cool on a night with a solid LCQ. We thought it'd be cool for the guys that qualified for the redraw to bet or to pick a driver from the B, and then the highest qualified pick is that's how they line up. So if you pick, the 22 car, he comes in second, but that's the
more enemies.
That's the highest. I think it's awesome. That's the highest finisher.
You can see all the redraw guys in the front row pumping their fists.
Yes.
When their guy takes
I can see all of my records being real busy too. So we do want to get the show onward and get moving here. So, we can't be out having cautions after cautions.
Good.
All right, Jim, we're 0 for 2. What else you got?
I think those were the 2 good ones we had. I forget.
Them are not good ones, guys. I don't know. Y'all listen. When y'all are making corporate decisions, let's make sure there's not adult beverages involved, and especially at Chili Bowl.
Kevin, how do you think? Where do you think Slim Pushins and Pushing the Cushion came from? That's some of our best work.
And it really bummed me out. It's not called the Three Stooges or something like that. I don't really get why y'all didn't do that.
I'm not even on the logo.
Jimmy wasn't even supposed to be in here, and then he got stuck.
Jim's
all the brains behind the whole deal. What does that tell you?
He's been asking me for.
Yeah, you did run over your mom's car, so we can't go there with Jimmy.
Well, they were asking me, it's like, hey, is your car ready for Kennedale? And I was like, well, I got to fire it up and set the timing. As long as I don't run over a vehicle in my backyard, I think I'll be all right. And we'll be.
Hey, and I'll be honest, I've raced at Devil's Bowl. I've raced at Devil's Bowl like 1 or 2 times in my lifetime, and I've seen some pretty exciting wrecks. And Jimmy's one of the top 10 there, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know who the hell that was, but I know that's one of them shirt cars, and I bet he's going to be sore tomorrow. Here comes Doug. I told Jimmy, that was my boss. I'm like, what did they do, draw the short straw or what?
Man, so
rumor has it that one of those sideboards still hadn't landed yet.
Oh man,
So,
that was nasty.
That was well. So we'll tell that. So I ran the fourth car for we would take 4 cars and buy about hot laps. Either Scott, the Sherb dad. If it was hot, he'd be like, I don't really feel it. Jim, why don't you drive it? And so we ran the night before in Wichita Falls, and I ran pretty okay for me. I think I run 5th, 6th, something like that from the back. And so I was on Lake Texoma with my family Saturday morning, and I was reaching into the cooler to grab a beer at 10:30 in the morning, like you do on the lake. And my phone rings, and it's Scott Sherb. He goes, "Hey, we're going to take Corby to Devil's Bowl tonight. I'm going to take the 68 car. You want to go, and you can drive it?" And I was like, all right. Put the beer back down, and I was like, "Hey, we're going to run Devil's Bowl tonight, and I'm going to get to drive Scott's." I mean, that 68 car was his baby. He loved it, and it was a nice piece, and I had no business being in that car on a half mile. I've never been on a half mile. I've been in a wing car 4 times in my life, maybe. And I went down in there and I had to start in the back because I had no points. Right, this is my 4th race in 7 years.
Welcome to point average.
And I hated the point average, and now we do redraw every week, and I hate that even more. Like, I wish they would just do the point average.
So you're a typical Facebook keyboard warrior then. You don't know what you like.
I have enough discipline that I don't get on there and say it. I have hot racing opinions, but I don't, I made a podcast at least so people can see
he started a whole podcast to be able to air those out.
So I'm in the back, and I don't even remember hitting the brakes. I think I was like committed down the front straightaway going into turn 1. And I think the car in front of me missed the bottom, slipped up the bottom, and I didn't even think about touching the brakes. And I'm in midair crashing going, I think I'm crashing. Like, what happened? And so I ran over that right rear and destroyed that car. I ended up in the parking lot way down there. The wing and the tail tank flew into the neighbor's property. And I'm sitting there just devastated because I just destroyed Scott Sherb's car.
Okay, so let me give you a tech tip of everything you just told me. So this is what happened to the car in front of you. You just explained it. The tech tip at Devil's Bowl in turn 1 and 2 is to lift off the gas. Let the car settle down and turn, and then go wide open until you get back to turn 1 again. So you and the other car did not know what y'all were doing, and y'all met in the middle.
That's what happens when you're running 17th and back there with the squirrels. You get your nuts cracked. But I landed over there, and it's bad when you crash when before you even like catch your breath and open your eyes and think about what happened, there's already people in the cockpit. Like, that's the most terrifying thing. They're like, "Wake up, you okay?" You're like, "Oh shit, this was a bad one." And so then Scott Sherb ran over, and he's like, "You okay? You okay?" And he's, it was wicked.
Yeah, he thought he killed you.
I'm just like, man, I'm so heartbroken right now. Like, I'm physically fine, but mentally I'm just, I feel so bad. And so then Scott was super cool about it. He showed me so much grace. So we're back there in the trailer trying to figure out how we're going to roll that heat back in. And here comes Corby blazing in about halfway through the feature, pissed off. He hops out of the car, throws his gloves, and like storms in there, parks right next to my heap. And it probably took him 10 minutes to realize that I was the crash.
I walked by him in the trailer.
Yeah. And
I
walked by the car.
I was upset, and it started stumbling again. We were chasing fuel issues for a while that year, and I turned around and I go, "That was you?"
Yeah. And he goes, "Man, over the receiver, they're like, oh, red flag, red flag. The 32 car just went huge in turn 1." And Corby's like, "I was sitting on the front stretch. They were saying I just crashed huge." And I was like, well, in their defense, everything that had a number on it flew into the neighbor's property. So, I mean, they just guessed because it said Sherb on the side. But that was awful. Luckily, Jeb's big crash there was like 3 weeks later, and everybody forgot about
outshadowed yours.
Yeah. But that sucked. But Scott Sherb, really, the whole Sherb family is like family to me, and Scott Sherb really showed me a lot of grace there. So really
Kevin would have fired you on the spot.
Oh,
Kevin would have fired you.
I just
no, he'd have had to help straighten up his mess first before I fired him.
We did
at least get it washed.
Turbo,
we did.
You need to tell the story about my dad at Chili Bowl going over. I don't know how you said he went through the rope, but you said he didn't go over it or under it.
I'm sure he went through it.
So at the end of the ramp at the Chili Bowl, once all the cars
you almost fell and died.
Oh, is that where you almost fell down in the mud?
That's the place.
Yeah, we wouldn't have laughed at that.
That was hilarious.
Dylan and Austin Burkham love to tell that story because there's no way to be cool at that point. Your feet go out from underneath you, and you
Chili Bowl live.
You're just,
I didn't know Ben could move that fast.
Just praying to the God of your choice that you don't hit the dirt. So I'm at when all the cars enter the track, they raise this little plastic chain link, piece of chain with some flags hanging off of it, and you had a car.
I think it's just rope.
I don't know what it is.
It's actually a Hoosier rope banner.
I know that normal people have to go above or below it. So you had a dog in the fight in this heat race, and you were behind me because you're 18 foot tall and I'm not. So I was bellied up to that rope, and something happened on the track, and you just flipped a light switch and just flew off the handle, and respectfully, you blew past me, which is fine. I knew it was coming because I knew that was your car. And to this day, I swear to God, you didn't go over that rope or under that rope. To this day, I have no clue how you made it onto the track without going. You went through that rope.
Okay, so let me explain that whole sequence that you just did. So since you're a rookie at this whole program, when you stand that close to the rope at the Chili Bowl, shit hits you in the face and everywhere else when them cars swing in there. So as a smart person, I stand behind the biggest guy I can get the most blockage from. So guess who I was behind?
Well, as a short guy, I didn't have any choice. If I'm not up front, then I might as well go to the front stretch.
So,
but yes,
the reason I lost my religion at that moment is because we have a car that's on the front row of this deal that's number one, whatever it was, and then the caution come out for the one that was at the back. Well, he didn't have his radio in, and they black flagged him or told him to get off the track and go get a radio. Well, he's starting front row outside, fixing to transfer into to the D main on a Saturday, and of course. It just bite my tongue, but he just decided to go ahead and go on up the ramp. And at that point, I lost every bit of, it was ugly. So I'm like, are you kidding me?
You forgot your name at that point.
Oh, no, I knew what my name was, and it had a fire on the end of it. I was hot. I'm like, come on. We wait all to get to this point, and you don't have a radio and don't realize that they're talking about somebody else. Yeah, he didn't change the battery. And I just.
And then he never changed.
Yeah, that was not a good moment. Yep. So yeah, it worked. It worked.
It was like walking on water at that moment. I was just looking around to the people next to me. I'm like, did y'all see that? Like what? How?
David Copperfield.
What just happened?
Yeah, you just got to learn how to do that, bud.
I don't think I've
learned a long time ago in racing, either in fights or in racing. If you hit them hard enough, shit's going to happen. So I just flew into that thing, and it happened.
Yeah, it didn't fall down or anything. It was just hung. I was still there. It was amazing.
The best part about it is Kelly that works that rope. He's known me for a really long time, and we're buddies. And he sees me coming, he just holds it up above my head, and I just keep on going. So, yeah, it's all good.
So people have learned to get out of your way.
You on
the racetrack.
Now you know when I'm standing behind you, it ain't because you smell good, bud. Yeah, I'm looking for protection.
Well,
yeah, I appreciate that.
When I'm at the bottom of the ramp and I see Carbo coming down the hill, I get out of the way. I don't want to be a bowling pin to that bowling ball coming down the ramp.
that ramp, we've often laughed. The last few years we've bought one of them big 1-inch gnarly impacts for the midget socket, and it weighs about 75 pounds. I said, I don't know who the sucker is going to run down that slick-ass ramp, but when you get to the bottom, look out, because there ain't nobody going to stop. You're going to slam into the car.
We had a this year.
Yeah. So
we had a whole conversation about it. That whoever's idea, I think somebody's got jokes. They just wet that thing down, and it's treacherous.
You do know the camera's on it all the time, so the producer can just flip it over and watch you slam the ground.
Yeah, yeah. That just add that.
Wait.
You just add that to just the stress of everything.
I was given. Say there wouldn't be mud wrestling at the mud racetracks. So I mean, it is what it is.
I was given.
Get with the flow producer and see if he can go back and find that for me.
Yeah.
I was giving Corby hand signals and making faces at him every time I waddled up the ramp this last year.
We need to get Corby back in the car at the Chili Bowl and let you and Jimmy crew chief him.
Yeah.
Or give him pep talks anyway.
Yeah, at least pep talks. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I remember you made a funny comment to me the first time I raced the Chili Bowl. I was walking down the ramp and went to go look at the racetrack, and none other than the Kevin Ramey voice. Yep, Corby, it's still got 4 turns and 2 straightaways. And I'm like, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
The building ain't growing. It ain't getting no smaller. Just same thing. Gas her up, cowboy.
You said you got your Chili Bowl lineup. How much midget racing you guys got planned this year?
Probably not a lot, honestly. With the track, we might go to DeCoin, just kind of see where the cars are at that point. We have a little bit of work to do on a couple of our King cars. We're going to do a little bit of chassis work on them. One car's really, really good, and the other one struggles, and we don't know why. And so we're going to build a jig off of that one and figure it out. We got something going on there, and we just don't know what it is. We're going to figure that out. And I'm as soon as I get done with this sprint car that we're putting together now, and that kind of gets settled down, then I've already started on a new midget with the tubing, and some rear tubes are done and things like that. But we're going to have our own chassis midget out again. I've learned so much since I built the other 3 that we did, and I've already sold them, so they're long gone. And I want to do it again because I feel like I have some more there that we can give to our guys, and we'll see if it works out. Luckily, if I can get everything done in time and get some laps in on it before Chili Bowl would be really good. But I mean, at this point, who knows? I mean, it's a day-by-day deal. So we got to get this Saturday night in and through the books, and next Saturday we got double features with the modifieds, with the makeup Sigmund race, and I'm excited about that. To be honest, I think that's going to be a really good show for us, and I think it's just going to be, as a fan, it's going to be a great show. You got some of the best modified guys in the South down here running with the open motors, and I mean, they're monsters, and I'm excited about that.
We are sprint car snobs on this podcast, but I do appreciate some good open motor modified and late model racing. That's why I grew up going to most down in southern Kentucky.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, around here that dominates kind of our deal, and with that and stock cars. But at the end of the day, I've learned through all these years that no matter if they're a bicycle racer or an IndyCar racer, they're still race fans, and I think that's important. We might disagree on what chassis or cars we run and mud or asphalt, but at the end of the day, we all have the same passion for our sport, and you gotta love and respect that person.
Exactly. That's well said. Man, we're excited for you. I hope to come out and
Kevin's
support
just
you
saying
some.
all that because he knows he could win in any one of those classes.
Anything.
I'm not racing
Anything with a motor and
I
wheels.
did that when I was a kid and hit the ground too many times. So I had to get in something with a roll cage on it.
Yeah,
at least they have a big heavy class or something like that. Maybe me and Kerbo can get out there and have fun, but I'm out.
I would pay good money.
I'm too old for that. I'm too old. Be like Eagle. Man. We had our main guy Jambo. He got in at the Tiki Bar, had a little too much fun on a Thursday night, and a couple kids rode up after Roger had prepped the track and watered it, shut the lights off, was ready for the next day, and then of course we're all out there having a great time, bands playing, and all friends and all good, and these couple little kids rode up on bicycles, and Jambo was giving one of them a hard time that at his age he was a BMX champion, but he said, "You want to race? You want to race, old man?" Well, he did. But he made it all the way out the gate, all the way into turn 3 before he finally head planted and shoulder planted to ground. And 2 surgeries later, had all that put back together and the meat put back on the bone. We can't ride bicycles at Eagle Raceway anymore. So it was somewhat my group, but I wasn't the one. So yeah, that's always fun. The next day in the driver's meeting when Roger looks you dead in the eye, no more bicycle racing. But hey, we laughed about it.
Corby and his family would be riding unicycles around the shop while I'm sitting there trying to bleed brakes back in the day. And I was sitting there thinking, you're going to bust your ass, and I'm going to have to drive this tomorrow and probably destroy it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, we appreciate it, Kevin. Thanks for such a legend in the game. Take some time out to talk to us.
What does legend mean? Does that mean I'm old? That's what it feels
like. It's a nice way of saying it. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed my hair, what little I have left is changing colors rapidly.
Yeah. Legend, old but still has some stuff to offer.
Still get it done, man. When the 7M is unloaded in the pits, you know you're going to have to deal with him before the night's over if you want to be up front.
That's if he can get around the 7P.
I ain't worried about the 7P.
Now there's 2
I'll just scare him out of the way.
Yeah, that's right. But,
Mama,
we appreciate it, Kevin. We know you're super slammed and busy getting prepped with everything, and we'll try to get you on here later in the year and see how everything's going.
I'm thinking the podcast needs to come to RPM one night.
So
we
do have the ability.
We can do it in a motor grader.
Live.
You ain't getting in the motor grader. April 18th, baby. Race Sabers will be on hand at RPM Speedway. That's the night y'all need to be there. Jimmy will be behind the wheel.
Oh,
we need Jimmy behind the wheel. We need Jimmy behind the wheel more than me behind the wheel.
Well, we'll see about that. Somebody's got to run 13th, you know.
Slim Pushins will be leading in the pace truck. That's my claim to fame.
And Waterburger has nice bacon burgers there in the ladies' restroom.
All right, we appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys.
Kevin.
See you.
Thank you for listening to the Pushing the Cushion podcast. I'm sorry that it was a complete waste of your time. Maybe Corby and Slim will actually learn how to make an interesting podcast before the next one. Who am I kidding? I don't get paid enough for this. We'll see you next time.